I don't know how to start this video. I even asked ChatGPT to help me out, and I figured it's probably best if I just come on here and be real with you. But after a lot of thought, I wanted to let you know that I've decided to retire the name Apparel Success and move forward as Rob Prsa. Now, Rob Prsa isn't some creative name. It's just me. And if you've been here any time within the past 9 years, you'll know that this is huge. What's up, buds? My name is Rob Prsa, and this is Apparel Success, where I want to teach you guys all about how to run a successful clothing brand from the ground up. Literally for the first year and a half running my clothing brand, I was using this laptop right here. Is this coronavirus pandemic affecting the way that I'm running my clothing brand right now? You need to go back and tweak your foundation and work on your foundation. You're going to have to go through the fire. So no more resistance here. By far the worst feeling for me about working for somebody is this feeling of being imprisoned, and that things just kind of take time and just breathe. Tiny little changes to what you're doing can produce massive and profound outcomes that completely change your results. People with initial advantages in life tend to accumulate more advantages. I've been running this channel under the name Apparel Success since the beginning, and that's because all of this was started 1 year after I started my clothing brand, K-Bud. And the whole point of this YouTube channel when I started it was to share my experiences running that clothing brand. But since then, I've gained all these new experiences, building up YouTube channels, working with thousands of other brands online, and I have so many more experiences and so much more knowledge than just what I was doing with K-Bud. And so everything's about to change on this channel, and I want to tell you in this video why it's going to be better for you. So, I've been thinking about doing this for a really long time, and it wasn't an easy decision, but there were three main reasons that I decided I want to change the name from Apparel Success to Rob Prsa. The first reason, to be completely honest, is it gives me more flexibility and room to expand beyond just apparel. With the name Apparel Success, it's always kind of pigeonholed me as the apparel guy. But if you've been watching my content for the past 8 years or so, you'll know that a lot of the content I've made is not just applicable to clothing brands. It could be applicable to any e-commerce store or anybody trying to grow a personal brand or any kind of business. And I feel like it's just led to this untapped potential. A lot of my videos, I know that I might be biased here, but I've gotten comments like 50 or 70 comments type thing where they say, this video is so good, I don't know how it doesn't have more views. I don't know how it's not bigger. And I feel that the reason for that is because all of the content is specifically related to clothing brands. And on vidIQ, on these search tools, you'll see that there's only really like 50,000 people, 20,000 people looking up clothing brand related content every month anyways. And my biggest skill sets aren't specific to apparel. My biggest skill sets are deciphering consumer psychology and marketing and branding and all of the intricacies around entrepreneurship and personal development. That's why my clothing brands have performed well, is because I was applying those greater skill sets to a clothing brand. But my actual skill sets around growing a clothing brand isn't what makes me a great entrepreneur. It's all of those other little things that I'm good at. The second reason I'm changing the name is that not only are my biggest skill sets beyond just apparel, but my deepest passion is beyond just apparel. I'm not so stoked about just talking about clothing brands 24/7. My passions are much deeper than that. I like personal development. I like psychology. I like economics. I like how business works in general and sort of seeing into the reality of all of that. And that's where my passion lies. The third reason is that I want to be more real with you. Under the name Apparel Success, I feel like I'm almost kept under this umbrella where I have to make how to start a clothing brand and all this content specifically for clothing brands and strategies around growing a clothing brand. And to be honest, some days I just don't feel like making a video about that. I feel like making a video on something completely different. I already have thousands of videos on how to start a clothing brand, how to market your clothing brand, all of the fundamentals. If you want to see that, it'll always be here on the channel and you can check it out and watch it. But this just gives me more creativity and more room to truly be myself. So I want to let you know the types of changes that you can expect in terms of the types of content and types of videos I'm going to be making. And first, I want to say a big thank you to design.com, who's embraced this rebrand and is coming with me to Rob Prsa. They've got a new link for me at design.com/Rob88. So if you need a design made, I highly recommend checking it out at that link. It's completely free to try. And I wanted to just drop a thank you for them, you know, sort of just embracing this whole change. So what does this mean for you, and what can you expect to see on this channel? Since my core experiences come from the last 8 years running clothing brands and working with clothing brands, I'll always have those experiences to rely on, and I'll always be referencing those experiences. So it's not like any of the content for clothing brands is going to stop. All of this is still going to be specific to marketing online, and I'm still running TherapyWear and K-Bud at the same time. And so a lot of those experiences are still going to be the exact same, and I'm going to be talking about how I'm growing those things. So all the clothing brand content isn't going to go away. That's a part of who I am, and it's a big piece of my identity. But going forward, you can expect to see more videos on personal development, giving deep looks into consumer psychology and sharing the reality of entrepreneurship and the reality of business and strategies that I find are super rare and hard to find online. Those are the types of videos that I get fired up to watch, and I want to be that type of creator because I feel like that really resonates with who I truly am. But honestly, I don't want to limit myself to any particular category right now. I don't want to tell you you're going to get these kinds of videos and these kinds of videos. The whole point of this is to just open myself up and give myself total freedom to make content that I feel I can provide the most value and I can be the most useful for you. The new slogan for this Rob Prsa channel is Entrepreneurship Unplugged. And I came up with this through my favorite movie, The Matrix. There's a concept of being unplugged from the Matrix where you're seeing reality for how it truly is and seeing the truth. And I'm a philosophy major. I have an honors degree in philosophy. I'm truly deeply passionate about seeing the truth and seeing into the code of things and breaking things down on a fundamental level. And I want this channel to represent that. Whether it's sharing the honest truth of how I'm feeling and what I'm going through in entrepreneurship, or if it's talking about strategies that actually work and sharing the reality of how business works and how business functions. I don't know how to make a video like this. And so this is why my tone might sound really weird. I don't even know how to come across to you right now. I'm just trying to be as honest and open as possible. This is really exciting for me. It gives me a whole new sort of feeling of excitement when it comes to creating content and getting all of this going again. I felt like I was just drowning in clothing and apparel content for so long that I'm really excited to fire up all of these new ideas. If you've been following this channel for however long, I cannot thank you enough. I know we don't know each other personally, but I legit, when I look at the camera and I stare into the lens, I visualize someone who is in my shoes 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and I'm talking to that person. And I just appreciate you so much for following this channel, for being a part of this whole thing. You know, you don't even have had to have paid me a thing, but just the audience I've built here, it's changed my life. Everything's just been so fun. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. So that's the new direction. Stay tuned for next week's video. It's going to be an absolute banger that's going straight into this new direction. Can't wait for you to see it. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.